So, welcome to Divine Love Bliss radio show with Mercy and Rami. And today we're having a nice topic because it's the topic that I think confuses so many of us, our mission. And it throws us almost like into a loop. Right, Rami?
That's right. Hello, everyone, and I'd like to welcome all of you to Divine Love Bliss Radio. Let me read a question about mission, and this is a very common question that I get all the time. The question is, I heard each of us has a specific mission. How do I know what my mission is? So, we go about our daily lives in what seems to be our own initiatives, but our steps are guided for a spiritual purpose. King David wrote, "The steps of man are guided by God." We end up in a specific place so we will have the opportunity to do our mission. But in short, we do not have to worry about finding our mission, and God will direct our steps to where our mission lies. So there are three hints I would like to share with everyone in knowing your mission. And my first hint is seize the moment. When you find yourself in a specific situation, find out what you need to accomplish. My second hint is the tasks that you find most difficult to carry out are what you need to pay attention to. But true achievement only comes through challenge, and there will be many obstacles in your path when a particular mission is the one that you specifically need to accomplish. So, Mission Impossible, the movie, would not have been a box office hit if the mission was just too easy. It doesn't mean you should go about your mission with a tattered shirt riddled with bullet holes. The challenge is to find ways to overcome obstacles wisely and with the least effort, just like Tom Cruise. My third hint is a parable called Diamonds and Fish. Once upon a time, there was a poor man who heard that in a faraway land on the other side of the sea, there is a place where diamonds were as plentiful as sand. After a long journey, the man arrived in this wondrous land. Everything that had been said about it was true. Diamonds of all sizes were everywhere. So a group of children gathered to watch the man kneeling on the ground, stuffing his pockets with diamonds. To celebrate the end of his poverty, the man ordered a luxurious dinner in the most expensive restaurant in town. Feeling generous, he handed the waiter a diamond and exhorted him to please keep the change. Needless to say, he spent the entire night washing dishes in the kitchen to pay for his dinner. He quickly learned that diamonds, each of which would be worth millions back home, were worthless in this place. So here the currency was fish. No one ate fish, it was used just the way we use money. No one was bothered by the stench that emanated from their wallets. So once he overcame his disappointment of having so much diamonds that were worthless, he worked hard, and before long, he became one of the wealthiest in the land. His businesses were headquartered in the most rancid section of town, and his private vaults held tons of fish. So finally, it was time to return home, and he sent word to his family, "I am rich. We shall never want for anything in our lives. Prepare homecoming." So he loaded his fortune on a fleet of ships and set sail for his hometown. And family and friends awaited eagerly at the seaport. Of course, there was nothing that could be done with his shiploads of rotten fish except to sail back a few miles from shore and dump them into the sea. Later that day, as he was undressing for bed, a few diamonds fell from his trouser pocket and sparkled on the floor of his bedroom. He and his family never again wanted for anything in their lives. So you see, the soul hears wondrous tales of treasures in a faraway land, literally free for the taking. So the soul descends into the material world and discovers that everything that had been said about this place is true. Diamonds are everywhere, there are always opportunities to love one another, yet the value of these diamonds are not appreciated in this strange land. There are riches of an entirely different sort, so that when the time comes to return, many a soul find themselves taking home shiploads of rotten fish. Some souls manage to take home some diamonds that make the trip worthwhile. So, with that story, Mercy, tell us more about mission. How did you discover your mission?
Whoa, what a story you have given us here. Wow, I had not heard that story before. And is full of riches. Mission, I'm going to give you a little bit because let's start with the conventional. Everybody knows mission from the conventional, and if you have worked for any organization or corporation, they're constantly hammering at our mission statement. We must have our mission statement slouted everywhere, and this is our mission statement. Because for society, companies and organization represent or hold on to an image that says this is who we are, and they try to say it with their mission statement. And I think that I'm going to go through that story, this part of the story, so that we can understand why we're so confused. And so, in a conventional mission statement that we are more aware of from the society, companies, wherever you go, there always a mission statement somewhere, because that was a very much an in thing for corporations to make sure that the mission statement was visible to the clients and to the customers plus the employees, because in some it was studied and understood that if the employees did not know the mission of the organization, they were having problems communicating it, right? And so the clients would not know. So their definition of a mission is a written declaration of the organization's core purpose and focus that normally remains unchanged over time. A mission is something to be accomplished, while a vision is something to be pursued. So we're always, if we're in the career side of the house in society, there's always a confusion with the vision and the mission. And they have to go through classes. There's always executive coaches that come along and train you on how a mission one thing, vision is another, and it confuses the heck out of almost everybody that does these kind of things. And every time I did go through this in corporate and even in the nonprofit organization of Edgar Cayce, there's always a confusion. What is my vision? What is my mission? And and even when we get through it, I've always had the feeling um, that it's a waste of time. If a waste of time, and then because the for the moment being, the group that is creating the mission statement is gung ho on the mission statement, but it is those who went through the exercises that get gelled into unify, and everybody has to put a word in, and everybody has to wordsmith the heck of the mission statement, and then they say, whoa, voila, this is my creation. And we all agree in this because we all put in something into the mission statement. And then we give it to the all the employees, and we expect the employees to embrace it as their own mission statement, but they never had any input. They're really outside the core. And then the clients or customers that come to your business organization, it's even the most outside core. They were not even part of you putting in the mission. And so the core individuals that started to put the mission uh, uh, is assuming that the customer or the client would like them to be such and such. And the employees, because they're the employees, will say, okay, I guess that's what we are. I just need a paycheck and I just need to support my family. So if we look back to your story, it's interesting because it does have the same connections, right? Depending on what island you are, what country you are, and what you are working with, that's where you're connecting to, not someone else's mission or what you're being told. So, what happens to a mission is it gets wasted, really. And then we have the part of lately the book that it says start with the why. And this was a study that it was concluded that those really achieving companies that have no problem with a loyalty of customers was really because the founder of the company knew his why, knew why he was doing his company for. And that was really the key from Apple to Microsoft to Walmart to United Airlines to many other companies. Of course, Disney, one of the number ones. But then that is also very confusing. So you say to everyone, just start with your why. And you know what, Rami? Most people have the same issue as if you tell them create your mission statement. There is this kind of wall, I think, that we put into understanding the why because the why brings you to a deeper understanding of your truth.
Is it the same as purpose when you answer the question why?
Really,
Because the
why it goes deeper than purpose. And that is why the why is harder to figure it out. It was not for these founders of these companies because it was what they were all about. They did not start by saying, I'm going to start a company, but I need to know my why first. You see, they just lived their their why. It was in their already in their DNA, in their body when they started their companies. And so it's very easy for a founder to spout out their why. It is more difficult for us that don't understand where we're heading and what we want to do to be told, okay, just find your why. Because we're going to be in the same situation as these companies that go into creating a mission statement, and everybody is so proud after whatever workshop they go to, and they create their mission statement, and then it's put in a wall, and it's not related to anything you do every day. It seems like it,
so I think the
but that's it.
but so I think the key is really to be a founder of your own,
Exactly. That's
and not
why
just
the mission is so hard to figure out. Because what you're really doing is telling yourself, why am I here? So, purpose, vision, and mission is really all one. That we want to separate. You see how we come into the earth and we right away want to separate and make logic of everything in a time and manner. So, we create time and space into earth. Earth is a duality, so we have to make logic out of our feelings. And so we come along and we say, okay, we have a vision, we have a mission, and we have a purpose. And then everybody, so-called society, has created some definitions for them. And so we take and we Google, what is mission? Oh, okay. Mission says that we write it down so that everybody knows what's our purpose here. And we don't lose sight of our purpose. Well, I'm going to tell you, we lose sight of our purpose every day because the mission is not lived. You created it, you put it in a piece of paper, and now you tell the world like affirmation. Even if I, just like if I create an affirmation every day and I recite it, but do I really know why I'm reciting it? Am I connecting to the factor of what that really represents? And that's where why mission statements or feeling or understanding mission becomes so complicated.
But at the same time, I can imagine that 5 years ago, even if I have the same why, my understanding of my why uh, changes. Not necessarily the why, but my understanding. So
Right,
layers and layers and layers are added to it, and
right.
it just gives a deeper sense of purpose, doesn't it?
Yeah. And what happens is we almost envy those who are able to find that richness of knowing their deep why, the one that really doesn't change. It just gets richer or in depth, or it even gets a greater insight or even enlightenment, right? And so we get a little bit envious of that. We get into, oh my God, he knows his why and I'm not. And then, of course, we all are loaded with self worth issues, with I'm lesser than. And so unconsciously, because I've seen so many clients say, well, I'm not envious of anybody. Well, that's a humanness of comparing each other. So there is some buried, sometimes unconsciousness of comparison, right? And then we say, "Oh my God, they know their why. How can I not know my why?" And so it is a really not easy because of all the society has already built in. Meaning, since we were birthed, our parents' belief is put in there. Our society, when we were kids in school, and how other kids reacted, we have been recording and then evaluating should we behave this way or not. And so now you have to look for your why, and maybe your why goes against everything you have learned.
Or maybe based on responsibilities. For example, I'm a mother of three children,
Mm-hmm.
and so my why is based on having to raise children. So I exist, or my life, the purpose or my mission is to raise my children, and that's about it. No?
Right,
That's about.
right. So
And so
then, so then someone like that would say, "Well, what is my mission?" Right? And they feel like they're not really doing their mission.
especially when the kids have graduated and they've left home, and suddenly you're left with an empty nest. So
Right.
many times, how many times did you ask why, Mercy, or
Oh my
what
God.
did it what did what did it take for you to get to your why?
It took my personal journey, and it really was that workshop, my personal journey that became what is today the power of your amazing story. The work that I do in the power of your amazing story, it has everything that I walked, everything that I tested, everything that allowed me to finally said, "Aha! This is how you get it. This is how you uncover your why." There is many layers of me that needs to be embraced, needs to be healed, needs to be, let's say, in a way corrected, if we want to use that word. But it's really aligning you. A lot of things that needed to be disengaged. There. I always say, including before the power of your amazing story, I was already creating the power of your amazing story. It's just it became at the end the title change, right? But I had already started with the ideal life, the ideal vision workshops, and that one I would explain to people how when you think you're not absorbing someone else's beliefs, you're still are. And as simple as in statements that your mom may say to you when you're growing up, and you're just like, oh, that's not me. But that little statement came in, and it was like a little sticky note. And I do these exercises where we just put those sticky notes in us or in the whiteboard. And before you know it, you'll have a whole whiteboard full of sticky notes. And you think they didn't go into our unconscious, but they surely did. We don't know how to work with them, but we place that sticky note in case we needed it. So, getting to your why, which would be your truth, which would really be more than your mission, because your why or your truth is the force that ignites your mission. And that takes the time of having to take off those sticky notes, taking out the coats that were never yours, the belief systems that are not yours. And it takes you can't shortcut them because for example, if you love your mom or you love your parents, and but their belief systems are not yours, how do you break away from those belief system or cultural belief system without dishonoring them becomes an issue. And so we hold on to them thinking that if we let them go, we dishonor them. And so that's why you see how we are a little bit more complicated to just come in and say, oh, this is my why. It's easy, you know. My why is because I'm pink, and that is my why. And so we look at whys or mission or purpose like if we were looking at titles and labels. Most of my clients are with the assumption that their mission are one of those the light opens up in the sky and the angels are singing you, and God says, and Rami, you will be a healer, and Mercy, you will be a teacher. And um, and they're looking for that experience, you see, without knowing
Or
that.
like Mission.
Exactly. Without
Yeah.
knowing that your soul already has it. It's in the heart of your being. If you just able to clean all that junk that we have stored there, and we go in and we start honoring all the pieces that came to be experienced by us, including our parents' belief and cultures, and we just set it aside and say, thank you for the beautiful ornament. I will put it in this beautiful bookshelf to honor that moment. But that doesn't mean that I have to be that ornament, right? We get to our true core of knowing that at the core of all this is our connection to God. And how we choose to express it is our ability to change our mission statement too. Right?
So how do I get to my heart? And I think that's really something that's it's easy to say, but a lot of people find it hard to go to the core. How do you do that?
Yeah, that I have never, I have not seen too many. Well, I think the lily activation was the most. It's one of the things that really helped a lot for a lot of people because it gave you a hardware, it gave you a whole set of software to help you out. But even them, even a lot of lilies that have been activated, they're still wondering on their why, because they're still with that mentality or understanding of the outside world, and it's not easy. I cannot say that there is one thing that you can do, like a magic formula, that unlocks everything and opens your heart. we know that it does if you use the word love, right? We know love is encoded for that magical opening. But there is a lot of layers with love, because if I still have personality and I'm not really, I'm assuming I'm in my heart, but I'm really not in my heart, my love will resonate differently than someone that is standing purely naked in their heart. That love resonates differently, right? So I would advise anyone who's starting their journey or want to um, really understand fully their why or mission is by taking the proper steps slowly. Don't worry about it. I can tell you that you probably know your why a long time ago. And what I do mostly sometimes is exercises like reviewing what is joyful for you, reviewing what has always appealed to you, and then go deeper into those appeals to look at the common denominator of them. So it's almost like creating a lay of flowers. You're picking a flower and you're putting it in, and then you create your lay. And then you realize, oh, no, 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 that flower doesn't go in this ray. I need to redo this ray. So it may take a few picking of flowers before you could, and creating your lay until your lay is shown to you. Meaning, I may have picked up a few years back flowers that had colors that I thought were a common denominator with the others. And then as I tried this lay of flowers as my mission, and I realized, oh my God, no, 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 red does not vibrate well with these flowers. And then I go back again and redo my lay. So that's why you see mission statements being re evaluated. And it's because they're just clicking or evolving. And a flower may no longer have the same essence or vibration as your soul is evolving and awakening and taking all these coats that we have put in top of it, right? And so, mercy, if I would have done a mission and why 10 years ago, oh my God, I think I have redone that lay of flowers that I don't think there's any, maybe one flower may be still from the original lay. But all the others have already been changed on the many different colors and even texture of the flower, right? So, do you know your mission, Rami?
Yes, I do. And just like what you were saying, I wouldn't really want to put it into a fixed set of words
Mm-hmm.
because really these are concepts that I've put together in a lay.
Mm-hmm.
But my mission comes very close to the mission of the Lily and Beyond.
Mm-hmm.
Because any which way I look, I still go back to the mission of the Lily and Beyond, which is um, to restore the chosen people to oneness
Mm-hmm.
and enlighten the nations. So I took that also as my part of my mission, but there are a lot of personal stuff that I was able to add to it. And for example, one day I woke up and I saw Christ right beside me. And he said, "Why are you looking at me like that? Why have you been staring at me the whole night?" And he said, "Because I have waited for you for so long." And when he said that, I realized that my mission was really to be the equal match, or the partner that he's been waiting for not just not just for the length of time that I've been born here, but for so many lifetimes, getting to a point where I can also love Him now, with free will. And so that becomes part of my mission. And then I realized how integral to my mission oneness restoration is, or restoring myself to oneness. How about you, Mercy? What's Can you give me a glimpse of your why?
Yeah, my why really was gifted to me when I, in the least unexpected place, I had just finished leaving Bell South, and I was gonna be doing full time my practice of hypnotherapy, but I still was not quite owning my practice. Everybody was telling me it was my soul work to do hypnosis, and I know that hypnosis when I went to do the certification that I didn't. I went just as an added knowledge, but not to do a practice. And all of a sudden, it became my practice. I wanted to quit my, work and so forth, my new career, let's say. And I left with an opportunity to leave the Bell South, my corporate world, with what it felt there were indication that was for me to move, not because I just wanted to move and this is the way, but there were some signals. And I get to go and do another certification, and it's called Life Between Life from Dr. Michael Newton. He has different books, Journey of the Soul or Destiny of the Soul, which is he discovered in his own practice that he could regress people all the way back to spirit form before they enter this life, and understanding all the complexity of the characters of their families and what type of roles they were playing. It's a really 4 hour regression. And what happens is when I get there, of course, you have to regress someone else to be certified, and they have to regress you. And they regress me. And it's been more than 10 years now. And I can remember like if it was yesterday or this morning. I remember I was like a little kid, and I was in front of God, and I was thrilled. Like if you find the best park in the world and you want to tell your best friend. And I remember exactly saying, "Oh my God, let me back in and let me show them. I will show them the path. I will show them the road back here." So I came back with that knowledge that was resonating in my heart, right? But I assure you that even that type of message, I try to put it in everything, and I know that I share everything. So then I started realizing a common denominator with me is that anything that is worthwhile, that it feels that is a treasure, I always share it with everyone. I have no bounties of, oh, this one will not understand it, I'm not going to share it. I will share it with anybody from business knowledge or insights in my on psychology or anything in my practice, anything that comes my way. I will share with my family, with whoever has a connection to the topic. And I will share it like a little kid would be sharing their lollipop, I guess, or the cotton candy in a park, right? Not a lollipop because it would be gross. But it's that kind of excitement that I know that generates from joy. But I can say that it had different expressions of it. So that's why the lay of flowers change as I continue to uncover my real why. And Lily and Beyond opened a lot. Edgar Cayce was the first that opened that gate. And then through Edgar Cayce, I met Ramon and Kim, who gave me, opened my path as a Lily activator and Lily and Beyond. And for those who are listening to us, and we're talking about the Lily activation and the Lily and Beyond, you can visit the website www.lily.com www.lilyandbeyond.com so that you know more about what the Lily activation it's all about, and because it would take us a whole program to talk about the Lily, but
Well,
that
the
uncover me.
mission,
Mm-hmm.
uh, sorry, the mission of the Lily and Beyond is peace and one brotherhood of man.
Right.
And so that has many layers. One thing that I do know, we always say we are human beings, but in reality, I think the better term is human becoming. We
Right.
have not we have not fully become man. And so the mission of peace and one brotherhood of man, that's the Lily mission, which happens to be also the vision, is what I always keep in my mind, together with the purpose that I have, my whys. And it guides me in the things that I do. It really puts a framework on um, what I am supposed to do, given you know that vision. I tell you, one time, Mercy, I really had a vision of what peace and one brotherhood of man looked like. It was just so beautiful, and I had to ask God. I said, this looks so impossible. He said, do you even question my power and might that this can happen? And so that is always with me.
Mm-hmm.
It ignites me, it fuels me to do the many things that I do. And just like you're wanting to share a lollipop. Of course, let's not do that, but that kind of fueling. So, for me, if there is one thing that people are looking for in putting together their mission and all the other components, the vision, having a purpose, the why, it's really to find that one thing that fuels you.
So
So
that's
that
why,
not
right, that's why I would say, if to answer the first part that you asked me, I would say to anyone, I always start with, where is your connection with God? Where do you feel in one with them? And it could be, some people will say, well, I connect very much with Christ, or others would say, I connect very much with the Kuan Yin, or someone would say, I connect very much with the Virgin Mary. I just had a client the other day, and I ended just having an orientation with her, and she was a mother, talking about it. It's a mother, and wondering that she's having this longing, and she knows that it's time for her to move, and she was trying to figure out if a Akashic class was for her. And I'm a terrible salesperson, I guess, for Akashic, because I took them right away to, maybe or maybe not. Because what we want to, I don't want anybody to just say, oh, Akashic is, and I'm going to talk to you about Akashic, when their longing is, am I in the right place? And as soon as I ask her, what kind of um, ritual she's having, or I didn't even know what question I asked her at that moment, that she says to me, I started reciting the rosary lately, and I connect to Virgin Mary, and I can feel her, and I'm so happy that even my son is joining me in the prayers. And I thought, oh my God, here it is. This is what she's not seeing, right? And so I said, this is where you start. You start wherever you can connect to God. And that means running. When you run, those runners that love running and they can't stop running, it's because you're connected to something greater than the running. Someone that goes to nature, someone that connects through a meditation, someone that goes to church and just sits in an empty church because it feels that there's something special. Wherever your connection is, there's where you start to really start that reconnecting, and letting that connection guide you to your own lay of flowers. Not by what other people are telling you that your why is and how to find it. You will find it because it's yours already. You already have it. You haven't lost it, right? Finding it means that we are looking for something we lost or we misplaced. But in reality, what what we're trying to do with when I'm working with mission is to redirect your sight or your compass to to your true north star that's already in your heart. And it always starts with whatever you're doing that reminds you of your connection to a higher power than this human being. And it could be of any kind. This is the beauty of being here in this experience and where God is everything. And so from there, then is where you start tuning in to then find the different little exercises of looking for a common denominator that brings you joy into life, to reviewing your powerful message within your movie. That's where your God is going to be shown to you when you're looking at your movie. You can see God in what really motivates you, and no one can take that motivation away from you, right? And so that's why I say a runner, because I'm not a runner. I've never was able, I always say that my construction of my body was not for running since I was little because I don't have lungs for it. But there are the people that run and they cannot not do it. It's just a high that they get, right? That's because they're connecting to a higher power than themselves. They're able to unplug from the mental and be able to be in the dance of one with God. So that's where I would start. No more looking for mission statement, healer, teacher, profession, labeling. Just start with the basic. Where is that motor uh, inside of me that connects me to that divinity, that connects me to that inspiration and motivation of who I am?
Yeah, I totally agree. And if you look at my lay, it would be a series of words or, or concepts if I were to reduce them. And you could you could look at them and say, but Rami, how are all of these things connected? But you see, I know the connection. So I have words, in my mission. Um, there's peace, there's freedom, there's love, you know, there's oneness. You know, but I'm able to put all of that together. You know, just like as you said, working on a lay of flowers.
Right, and make sure that you know that the lay of flowers are constantly going to be moving and changing. And another hint, when you start looking at your power of your amazing story or your lay, um, I when I was little, I would always tell my mom, it would be such a boring world if everybody would love just one color. And from me, since I was little, to me, boring was not the place I wanted to be. And so, colors became a representation of the diversity of the beauty of creation, right? And creating the different colors and even matching more and redoing from the basic because it's only a basic color that we have. And from there, we have created this world of the multi colors, and we're continuously creating new colors. That's where we have to understand that the why is a stable signal, like a little lighthouse inside of us, or a little motor, or what we call the North Star that's constantly humming to our music, to the music that is in our soul, in our core. But the expression of how we're going to take that out through our own living comes in so many different flavors, songs, music, colors, creation, and maybe I will create today as a hibiscus. But tomorrow, heh, hibiscus is too boring. And I create a flower that is a rose. Or maybe, I'll put a little bit of a leaf in my lei today because it's too many flowers, right? And that is what I would invite everyone that's listening to this topic of the mission. Take all these labels out of, break them all out, and just start with what is that resonating song inside of you, that music that you feel joyful, you feel inspired, and from there is where you start your why.
7 years ago, I pleaded with God. I was crying. I was crying after I have had the, I dragged myself through the mud, and I said, "Oh God, please, please, all I want is my corner of the sky." Yeah. And then after crying, nothing happened. There was no flashes, no lightning, no nothing. And so I just went on with my life. So looking back, it's been 7 years since I asked God for my corner of the sky, and it has been a hell of a ride. Because now I find my corner of the sky. I look back and I see how my mission formed through 7 years. So it's not. You're right. It's not. Here's my mission. I write it down. Up, done. No. Here's my mission. I'm gonna carry it out. I think it's really a process, an experience, and it promises to be very unique for everyone. It's not boring. It's a corner of the sky, and that's another thing that people can do. Really pray to God and say, God, show me my corner of the sky, because each and every one of us has that place in the sky.
That's definitely. So I think we have given you enough to start your uncovering, to start that digging, and relax with your mission. Let it be. Don't think that is your title, your label, profession. That you are here to sing the highest chord and the angels follow you and you walk on water. You already do that. It's just that we have chosen to do it in different manners. And that is the riches of coming into earth to create continuously and create such an enriched experience for the soul to travel. So I hope you have enjoyed this moment here as we have given you more than 30 minutes, by the way, into the mission. And if you have any questions, you can always send us a comment and then DLB group or any of the groups that you are listening this from this recording, and we will sure try to answer them. Rami, anything else that you want to wrap this up with?
Yeah, just going back to my first, the three hints that I gave. Seize the moment, meaning to say every day of your life, should always be a conscious or an awareness of mission. And then look for tasks that are really challenging because Mission Impossible would not have been a box office hit if it were, any other mission. And of course, the diamond and the fish. Um, you should know what the diamonds are, and not just because fish is the currency of the land. Well, thank you so much, Mercy. Really enjoyed. I really enjoyed talking about mission, and your insights were very, very helpful.
Well, this is a fun time for me. You know that I just love to chit chat and share. So, our 30 minutes that we had thought we were allowing for this radio show, it's become almost an hour. But it's an enjoyable time, and I hope everyone has been able to be helped in some kind, giving you a little bit of a hint of something. Just don't take life so seriously. You already have your mission. No one has to give it to you, or you don't have to uncover it. You just have to be aware of it. So, thank you very much for listening to us, and God bless you, and see you next time.